I think the primary objective of the dialogue is to perhaps congregate people with a set of diverse interests and have them engage in a serious dialogue about those things that they hold dear and the positions that they have.
To be honest, I think I'm leaving more optimistic than when I arrived. So I do think it was beneficial. I think more and more of these conversations need to happen, and more people need to be invited into the circle. I know we were joking about make the circle bigger, but that is what's missing in the country, is to get all the role players and the impacted stakeholders into a room and have them actually have their say, and that government and the people involved actually listen to the concerns.
I think it was an excellent idea by SAME to take the initiative. You need this type of multi-stakeholder platforms, make no mistake about it. I don't think there's enough time though, because there are a lot of issues that needs to be discussed in depth.
It's important that as a country we have serious and difficult conversations at a point, because it can't be that we don't talk about things. It's important that we gather, discuss issues, agree when we can, reach out to each other, disagree at a particular point. But the most important is that the world is moving. We must move with the world, and we need, those serious conversations, as a part of that movement going forward.
The benefit of such discussions and engagements as these is to bring different people or colleagues with different views around the table to find hopefully consensus around possibly the best pathways towards a future that we all want, a future that is environmentally sustainable, a future where the economies are growing, but also a future where there is social security, food security, water security, and we don't grapple as much as we do currently with climate-induced disasters, for instance.
I think first in terms of offshore oil and gas, the position has completely changed in the Southern Africa region over the last 2 years, and it's changed because of Namibia's material discoveries in the Orange Basin. We would argue it's incumbent on as many South Africans as possible to get to know the offshore industry, get to know the trade-offs, get to know what Namibia has achieved. So if and when development is considered in South Africa, which we think is quite likely, as many South Africans as possible are informed, educated and wise to express their democratic views on the development.
There is a huge hydrocarbon potential in South Africa that should be unlocked. It could be the solution to our current load shedding woes. It is the solution in terms of the current import of refined products and crude into South Africa, because we don't have any indigenous production. And it means that we can grow the economy, improve our GDP, be energy secure, and there are a lot of spin-offs in terms of employment, skills development, that which is gained from the fiscal revenues from our activities, that can be employed elsewhere into new sectors and what might be to come after the extinction of the current finite resource of hydrocarbons that we have.
We have a high debt to GDP, and one of our debt is foreign backed. It's a dollarized debt, so you need more foreign currency, and then the oil and gas industry is a dollar-dominated industry. We stand a good chance of benefiting the fiscus in terms of getting money so that we can service the debt that we have, and also getting more money to spend on infrastructure projects. That industry, for me, is an industry to be used as a catalyst to inject money into the economy. That is not there. We can't always rely on debt. That is an environment that is not sustainable. A welfare state is not good for South Africa. We need a state that is functional, with industries that everyone gets to work, and we move the country forward.
Gas is a transition fuel towards a clean environment and yet meet our future demands for future generations.
we have an opportunity to transition to green energy or alternative renewable energy, option. So there is scope to really transition, and gradually and progressively reduce our reliance on fossil fuels.
There's a lot of concentration on what could happen instead of basing it on fact. And I hope that when we do go into communities, we say to people, this may happen, but this is the impact. But I think the exciting part for me was that there's room for collaboration, there's room for engagement from all parties. And everybody's willing to come to the table and say, can we find a middle ground for this? Because at the end of the day, as South Africans, we want what is best for the country. Not just what's best for me and the fishing industry, but what's best for the country as a whole. So as a citizen, it warms my heart that we have these levels of engagement across the sectors. Yeah.
I feel strongly that our communities will lean towards development. But of course, in an environment where we don't compromise the environment, we don't compromise species habitat, and we certainly don't compromise livelihoods. So it has to be a balanced approach.